Hi, HRN listeners. We're celebrating our 15th anniversary, and we have a really fun campaign and an ask for you. This 15th anniversary tour is aiming to bring you closer to unique food and music experiences in some of the most exciting cities in America. All the while, we're raising funds to support our work empowering the next generation of food systems storytellers through our fellowship programs. Here's how it works. Donate to HRN and be entered into a raffle in the city of your choice to win a dinner for two at a noteworthy restaurant and tickets for two to a concert at a prominent local venue. We have incredible partners in New York, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Nashville, Las Vegas, Charleston, Asheville, and Ardmore, Pennsylvania, who have donated a meal for two and two tickets to a concert of the winner's choice. And all donations help fund our fellowship programs, where we're helping to build essential workforce readiness skills and food system storytelling skills. Check out heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. That's heritageradionetwork.org/15. Thank you.
Today's program was brought to you by Union Beer. For more information, visit greatbrewers.com.
I'm Linda Palaccio, host of A Taste of the Past. You're listening to Heritage Radio Network, broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you like this program, visit heritageradionetwork.org for thousands more.
Hey, welcome to Beer Sessions Radio on the Heritage Radio Network. I'm Jimmy Carboni from Jimmy's Number 43 and the Good Beer Seal. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2015. It's a special show. We've got some friends from Greenport Harbor and Long Island talking about craft beer. Beer Sessions Radio is brought to you by Union Beer Distributors, supplier of world-class ales and lagers. If you have any questions for our guests today, you can tweet us at beer_sessions. We got live tweeters going on all day. So special in-studio guests today. We got John Liegey and Brian Russell and Sean McCain from Greenport Harbor back in the studio. We haven't seen you guys for a while. Welcome in. Woo. Nico Cremides has got a special Long Island beer and event report, and a new buddy's in town, Ralph Perazzo from BBD Eats on Long Island. So we got a lot to talk about. You know what's been going on in the world of craft beer?
Yeah, man.
So say what?
A little bit.
A lot of things. It's unbelievable. You know, the beer weeks. Wasn't there just a Long Island beer week, Nico?
Yeah, in May.
And what was that like?
Well, actually, Ralph could speak about that. Ralph was definitely one of the leading participants in the events and such, and organization.
But in general, it was good.
It was great. It was great. You know, it really came together. We hosted an event where we took the 5 best stouts of the country, which people know of. You know, we had Bourbon County Coffee, we had Parabola and Draft, we had what else was on? That was pretty major.
Some good stuff.
And
it was also Queens Beer Week too, which is kind of amazing. All that was going on at once.
Yeah, everything's kind of just exploding into weeks.
That's awesome. So, you know, and talking about when we first started our show, you know, Greenport Harbor, you guys were just starting up, and now you've really expanded, and we want to talk a little bit about that in the show as well.
Cool.
So, tell us what's going on, John. So, tell us about the expansion and the new brewery and the restaurant.
We basically started 6 years ago this July. 2 years in, you know, we were in that little firehouse in Greenport. We were pretty much set on making small quantities of beer and really kind of keeping to, you know, making the beer the best it could be. And within 2 years, we knew we were going to run into trouble and need to find a new space. So we began that search, and it took a little longer than we thought, but we're there and we're in, and it's given us the space to not only make more beer, but to start packaging and open a restaurant, and just, you know, great piece of property on the North Fork. It's beautiful out there. It's as beautiful as Long Island gets, I think. So it is just a awesome, lucky thing that we're able to. You know,
I'll tell you, one of the gems of Greenport Harbor is that you got Sean McCain as your sales director. Sean, we knew you're from Victory and the Bronx, and you just busted up. I remember you told me about how you got your cans into where are the Knicks play? Who knows the Knicks anymore?
But, you know,
wherever they play basketball
now,
and things.
I do, Jimmy. I do bottles now, and that's another thing about the expansion that's really important. Is that with this expansion, we put in a packaging line that we just launched on April 20th, 420, for those that are keeping number scores at home, where we've launched all of Long Island,
New York City, and in the last 2 weeks, all of New York State and the 2 northern counties of Connecticut.
And you're going to taste us on some bottles tonight.
We are. Actually, in front of us, if everybody wants to grab a glass, we have our summer ale, which is a 5% golden ale with orange blossom honey, which tastes about as good as beer can taste on the summer day.
Awesome. And you got something else. You got a chef and a restaurant happening.
Brian Russell.
Yes, absolutely. How you doing? So, we're going to be building a restaurant right on the property there in Peconic. Everything is going to be very beer-focused. And I'm working with local farms. Beyond
that, though, but Brian not only has been working with local farms, Brian has been working in the brewery since last September. Like, he's cleaned as many and filled as many kegs as one could possibly do in a production brewery. He's done everything. He knows he knows his shit. So what he's doing is essentially he's making a menu that's, instead of pairing, food to beer, he's pairing, vice versa, right? I mean, you're pairing the food to the beer, right?
I've been beer focused for most of my career. My previous gig was at La Birreria at Italy.
Can you pronounce that one more time? Because I kind of
La Birreria.
How do you say the word THYME?
Time. So I opened up that restaurant, and of course, they had a brewery over there, and everything on the menu, paired with the beers that were brewed, and so we are doing the exact same thing on premise.
So give us three dishes that you're going to have on the menu.
Well, I can't tell you the dishes, but I will tell you that everything is going to be locally sourced from the North Fork of Long Island, and I am...
So rocks and sand and... You can't tell me. You can't even tell me one dish, Brian.
No, I'm not going to tell you.
You can't.
Well, hit him with one dish.
Come on,
give him one.
Give him one.
Get the people what they want, bro.
He started up with North Fork Test Kitchen because he has a little place.
Secret. The location is completely secret.
It's secret. The place, I won't give you an address, but he does have, he's got a hashtag, North Fork Test Kitchen, where he's basically looking at local farms, building different dishes and working on exactly what it's going to be. So you can look at that.
To expand on that, I'm actively working with a couple farms on the North Fork. One is Biophilia in Jamesport, New York. I dedicate 4 to 8 hours a week working on that farm, getting in there. We are going to be working with them in the future. Also, Browder's Birds and other farms. But, so we're going to participate with everybody. It's going to be a community.
He's still not saying what he's making, Jimmy.
That's okay. Nico's going to spill the beans here.
Politician. No, I won't do that. But when are you guys planning on opening it?
That would be spring of 2015. We've moved that to summer of 2015, Nico.
And for us, summer lasts all year long. All right.
We're basically going to be breaking ground in the next, or not breaking ground because the footing's already poured. We
bought a stove.
The stove is purchased, so we're looking to kind of begin building that in the next week. So we're excited. It should go fast. All the plans are done. They look awesome. So.
No, I respect that you don't want to announce all your dishes. But.
No, absolutely not. But if you guys, if anybody listening wants to kind of get a glimpse of what's happening, what I'm doing out there, you could look at on Instagram at North Fork Test Kitchen. Everything on there from my secret laboratory. Is all locally sourced from the North Fork. Everything I create. I even make sea salt from my backyard. I harvest the salt from the harbor.
What about some ingredients that you'll be using?
Like I said, all the salt that I will be using will come from the Peconic area, the North Fork, and all of the ingredients, mostly will come.
You use any proteins?
Yeah, proteins and all. Proteins, vegetables, all that.
He's not going to tell you, Jimmy. You can ask him as much as you want.
Well, you guys know. So you are active with the with our brewery. You know what we're doing, but all of our spent grain from brewing goes to feed the local animals at various farms on the North Fork. So McCall's and Cornell Cooperative, their mushroom farm and whatnot, and the local egg farm, North Fork Eggs. So, a lot of animals are eating the spent grain that,
And we'll kill them and serve them to you, fine people.
Correct. Those animals will one day be on the plates in my restaurant on the property. So it's a beautiful thing. I love it.
All right, man. Well, John, I met you when we first you started, and what's the journey been like for you? From this little, you had your first website was like the floating empty keg in the water.
Jimmy, you're the only one that liked that website. I get everybody else at the brewery hated that original website. You are my kindred spirit who enjoyed the floating keg that all of a sudden the whole website would freeze and you'd have to wait to find out where the actual brewery was and the whole thing. But yeah, 6 years, going on 6 years, it zipped by. And we, feel really fortunate to be, swinging and doing what we're doing. And being in the new space is just the culmination of it. We look around still like a bunch of stupid, idiot kids, like, how did this happen, So we feel really, thankful, really fortunate to be making beer on the North Fork, to be expanding, to bring food in, which improves the beer experience. So it's been fucking awesome.
It's really going to be great. I'm going to come out there right beginning of summer and hang out.
Tall ships, baby.
We'll have some fun. What's the tall ships? Tell us about that.
The tall ships are coming. We're sponsoring the Harmony?
The Hermione in English, the Hermione in French.
And where is that going to be? In Greenport Harbor?
It's going to be in Greenport, yeah. It's naturally one of the largest, deepest natural harbors on the East Coast, and it's what General Lafayette gave to General Washington to help us in our pursuit of liberty.
So what we got some other long out. Nico and you guys, what do you think of this beer, the Summer Ale?
At BBD's, I'm lucky enough to have a good relationship with DJ, the brewer there. He, the Summer Ale sells like crazy. He just did a hop nami on cask for us with Cascade hops.
Did you bring a sample of that?
It's on cask. Impossible.
Ralph, you're a secret guest tonight because you got a lot of information.
I know. I do.
I'm trying to hold back on everybody.
I'm letting everyone talk, man.
But Nico, what do you think of the Summer Ale?
It's really
in
good.
Bottle.
The honey gives it a little bitterness, and I have to give a shout out to Scott, who did all the label work. I just did a bunch of stories with him, kind of dissecting each of the labels, and they're great.
What's his full name, Nico?
Scott Bluedorn.
Yeah, they're really cool. And then, Sean, what's the next beer from Greenport Harbor that we should try?
The next beer we should try, I would say it would be the Harbor Ale, if we're going to walk up the progression that we have of hops. The Harbor Ale is our flagship pale ale, 5.3% American pale ale. 30% wheat malt is the real distinctive difference between a lot of American pale ales. Dry hop and Cascade.
I love Ralph from BBD. Yeah, they pass the ball around instead of pouring for everybody. Just takes it and swigs.
I like the style.
That's my guy over there.
He's like, I'll take it.
I'm a serious beer drinker.
And the label actually of the Harbor Ale, I know we're on radio, so it's hard to talk about exactly what it looks like, but I trust all of our listeners.
You can take a photo and tweet
looking
at beer_sessions.
I will. But see, the beautiful thing is that Scott Bluedorn's original design that really we fell in love with as a brewery was this image, and it's an image of a sperm whale with a house growing off of the top of the whale, as you do. And we looked at that, and we had about 8, right, John, different designs that we were looking at, and we just...
Yeah, so basically, I went to art school. Hello, anybody out there who made the same mistake.
I did.
And explaining that to your parents. So... It was the first time we were going to package. We waited 6 years. We waited to build a brewery to be able to do it. We didn't want to contract brew out. Not that that's not fun for anybody else, but we kind of wanted to be in control of our beer and the beer going into bottles. So we waited, and once we got there, it was time for me to kind of work on the package design. And I have that background, and the cool thing is that the illustrator who's represented on the package is a surfer dude from Montauk, from the South Fork, and we found him literally a week before I presented 8 different versions of packaging. And
it was the 11th hour.
And I never wanted to have Greenport Harbor. Jimmy, you've been there. It's a cool town. It's legit. It's like there are fist fights in the middle of town. It's like it still preserves its like original fishing, kind of history. And no doubt there's now a carousel and stuff like that. They're trying to make it a little bit more
badass carousel,
tourist friendly, but it is still like legit. And I never wanted to do like artwork that was like that contrived nautical, imagery that just you just feel like your stomach is rolling. I wanted stuff to look different and interesting, and this guy brought it together in a big way. So use your imagination out there and imagine.
It is cool.
all of that.
You guys could be taking
Animal machines.
You could take photos and tag it at beer_sessions and show everybody if you want
We'll
to.
do that.
We'll do that.
Yeah, but nobody really is on Twitter anyway, so I don't know. I'm listening to the radio live. All right, so damn, this is a good beer, Harbor Ale.
Thank you.
Right?
It sounds like what? This is repressed fishermen who fight in the streets, right? And they drink this stuff.
It tastes like they're sweating.
It's fighting beer.
And also, when was this packaged? Like yesterday?
It's at the bottom of the 6-pack. I think it was actually packaged. If not yesterday, maybe Monday. It was
packaged yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was
All
yesterday.
right, yesterday.
I have physically gone to the brewery and seen the glue gun on the line.
I physically packaged it, so I'll tell you.
I've seen Joe and DJ gluing those boxes together.
So, John, tell me about the development of your brewery. So, DJ, I know he had a lot of brewing experience, and then
Yep.
in your little brewery in Greenport,
Yeah,
he was
so it's
working.
really, the three of us, DJ, Rich Vandenberg, my best friend, and myself, who were the original three, and we brought Greg Dorosky, who's now at Threes Brewing. A shout-out to Greg. He's making awesome beer in Brooklyn.
What's up, Greg?
Word up.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Holla at Joel.
So he came in, after that, and
Hey, Greg.
we just kind of started moving down the line of moving Greenport out and making beer and making awesome beer, thanks to, DJ Swanson led that charge and is. I'm going to say the word again. It's my mother's birthday today, so she's going to be horrified. But fucking awesome. He's an awesome brewer, and we're happy to have him. And it's the reason really we're where we are at today. So
All right. Let's make a toast to DJ.
Absolutely.
And
Perfect, man.
we have a lot more to talk about today on Beer Sessions Radio. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right.
Cheers.
In 1996, El Knife & Son acquired Union Beer Distributors, which was originally located on Union Avenue in Brooklyn, but has since expanded to its present location alongside the English Kills Canal in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Union Beer has grown dramatically in the last decade as the primary distributor of Anheuser-Busch products for Kings County, Brooklyn, through the hiring and development of the best people in the industry. In 2003, Union Beer acquired a powerful catalog of specialty brands, which immediately positioned them as the craft beer supplier to accounts in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. Union perpetually tweaks their portfolio to maintain the highest level of stylistic breadth with the most coveted brands available. Through the highest possible level of service, outstanding salesmanship of the ultimate lineup of brands, and a paramount focus on education on all levels, Union Beer has solidified its position as the only source for the best selection of beers in the 14 counties of southeastern New York. For more information, visit greatbrewers.com.
Hey, welcome back to Beer Sessions Radio on the Heritage Radio Network. Check us out, heritageradionetwork.org. There's so many great shows. There's like 2 beer shows. There's a wine show. There's a spirit show. There's a cheese show. A lot of good stuff, issues and politics and school, and even a school lunch show, which is one of my favorites. So here we are, and I know we have listeners in England and Germany and Michigan and Florida, but also here in New York. And we're drinking, getting ready for the summer because we're with Greenport Harbor Brewing out of North Fork, Long Island. Woo. And we also have a special guest who has a great BBD Eats as a beer bar restaurant in Rocky Point, Long Island. So this is the time of year we start thinking about what are we going to do this summer. And for me, with a new brewery Greenport Harbor has in Peconic, New York, I could spend every weekend out there just hanging out.
And Jimmy, we hope that you do.
Well, you also, I know what you have. There's a jitney, there's a bus that comes from New York City, and a little over an hour and a half you can be at the door of your brewery.
Yeah, it's actually called the Greenport Harbor Brewing Stop.
And then you have this the coolest thing that I've seen. It's a fire truck that you've turned into like a bar on wheels.
Yeah. So it's a fire truck from the East End. Passed it by on the way to an account one day, and it was for sale. And we, had no money at the time, which made sense, like to buy a fire truck. So we offered them, I think, like 1/5 of what they wanted, and somehow they were like, "Okay, we'll do that." So yeah, we now have a fire truck that is loaded to pour beer and the sirens, and it pumps water and does everything a fire truck should do. So
gets you drunk and hydrates you.
You just don't want this in front of your house if your house is on fire. You wouldn't be helped very. If you want a beer, then you'd be okay. But
So someone just poured for me a beer from a growler. It's really good.
So that was Canard Noir, which is our it's our take on a black saison.
Yeah, we got that on a draft right now. It's
so good, isn't it? I mean,
it's one of my favorites.
This beer. So DJ, his baby is Black Duck, our porter. It's an English style porter, arguably the best beer I've ever had, and I say that very loosely. I don't say that very loosely. It is a wonderful example of styling of that style of beer. Not many people make an English style porter. It's one of the reasons why, when I met John and Rich, first beer they gave me, and DJ, was at Barcade about 6 years ago, and they were like launching it, and I was working for Victory, and I was like, all right, show me your shit, man. What you got, man? What's good? And I was expecting them to whip out a double IPA, an Imperial Stout with cocoa nibs or something, and they're like, it's a 4.7% English style porter. And I went, really? This is it? This is what you're going to base my impression on? Because I worked for Victory, so I thought it was tough shit. I wasn't, by the way. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So anyway, this beer is a take off of Black Duck using our French Saison yeast with some additional specialty malts into it and a lot of love, a lot of care.
It's a French name.
Canard Noir means Black Duck.
Put a French name, and that means
it was actually
a different yeast.
It was brewed so that all of us could go to BCTC up in Omegang that first summer. And 6 years in, we've still not made it to BCTC.
We're in this year, though.
Sean's taking it to BCTC this year for the first time.
You need a Belgian-style beer, is that what?
You do need a Belgian-style beer to go to BCTC, and we brewed it that first year. It's like, oh, this is what we'll bring. And, of course, the middle of the summer is like the craziest when you're making beer in the United States, and we were just so slammed that it was just... We agreed and then rescinded, and for 5 years going, agreed, rescinded, and now we're definitely going. We're psyched to be there. It's awesome, festival, awesome event, and Sean's going to bring it up.
Cooperstown, New York.
Yeah, man.
Hey, on that note, who likes to drink dark beer in the summer?
I do.
I
absolutely
definitely do.
So let's start with Brian. So do you think that there'll be any pairings with dark beer on your menu?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the beers. But Black Duck Porter is actually my favorite beer. I mean, I'm all about that. I drink it all summer long.
I'll get a refill.
Yeah.
And then, Ralph, so at your place, do you? How many lines do you have at BBD Eats?
We have exactly 28 lines of CO2, 2 nitro, and 1 cast engine. That's direct draw.
And so, like in the summer, approximately how many would be like dark or darker color?
It's so funny. We have 7 lines dark right now because of the stout event we did. I like to switch it up. In the summertime, we bust out all the stuff we've been aging, just to mess with people and throw sours on there. And then obviously I'll have DJ from Greenport make me a cask with something lighter. Greg from Threes will throw me some of his IPAs. So we have a good balance.
So to you, like with the Long Island Beer Week, it sounds like the Long Island beer scene has really come a long way.
Yeah, to get back to the Long Island Beer Week, when I was mentioning how I had all those badass stouts from all across the country, I took a bunch of stouts that were local. I had a Triton from Greenport. I had a couple things local that I put up next to the beers that everyone travels all over to get, and said, hey, try this Parabola, now try this Triton, or try this... to put them next to each other and to show how Long Island beer is just as good.
John, what's the Triton? I haven't had that.
So the Triton's our barley one, and as soon as Ralph said that, I'm like, wow, where'd you get a Triton from? And of course, he's really good friends with DJ, our head brewer, so there you go. But we have our beer museum, and it's very thin right now, so there's the beer bleeds out, because we actually didn't brew Triton this past year. We brewed it the year before. So it's a bit of like a hard one to get, and it's my wife's favorite beer, so she's not going to be happy listening to any of this because she hasn't had it in a while.
She's a barley wine swimming woman.
She loves it. Yeah. She
did well, John.
She works with some British people, and when she says, "Oh, I love the barley wines," they say, "Oh yeah, that's what the alcoholics love in Britain." So she's horrified by that, but that is her favorite beer.
You know what it was? I had a bunch of barley wines and stouts that were pretty killer, aged for 2 years. I called DJ personally and said, hey, man, why don't you give me one of those Tritons to put next to this? Greenport can get some marketing out of it. And people came in, they were drinking the Triton, and was so smooth, and it was just, we dropped the CO2 level on it. We dropped the temperature up to like 39 degrees.
So what, do you have regulators for each tap?
What's that?
Do you have? It sounds like you have a really awesome draft system.
Yes, we actually have calibrated lines where...
So each one has its own...
Right, kind of like what Taurus does, but ours is direct draw. The line's only 3 feet long, and what we do is we calibrate each line with a different thickness of hose. So if it's a stout, if it's a cider, we go 3/16, so smaller. So for example, for the Triton, we can drop 10 of our lines down to 38, 39 degrees.
I'm going there, Ralph.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you because you got a great story,
man. The beer's
man.
great. The food's phenomenal.
So you were a chef.
Yeah.
At some really great places.
Yeah.
Still a chef.
But
I'm still a chef.
Tell us a couple of places. We're going to build this guy up. A couple of places that you worked that people might know of.
I was at Jean Georges for like 3 years. I opened up Bradley Ogden's in Vegas. We actually won
Got a James
Beard
Beard
Award, best restaurant in the country, first for Las Vegas. That was in my prime 26-year-old age.
This is Ralph Perazzo. Everybody knows him. First time I met him. I don't know anything. Nico knows everybody.
Nico is like my personal PR agent. He loves promoting me.
You guys have been inviting me.
He's everybody's personal PR agent.
I like to hide, and he's like, dude, people need to know about you, man.
But you went deep. So we got two like really good chefs on the show tonight, which is cool.
It's pretty badass. I'm loving it.
Yeah, man. So you went deep. You went what? BBD. What does that mean?
It stands for beers, burgers, desserts. It's 3 of the top things that I love. I worked for a lot of high-end restaurants, and I got tired of working for somebody else and said I want to make food that I would want to eat more than once a week. And, the concept started out with we were drunk one night and someone said, what's your favorite things? I said, beers, burgers, desserts. Came out to BBDs, we made a logo, made a whole concept. And the food is not just burgers, but that gets people in. And then they come in and then they have a craft beer experience. We have a lot of menu items that grab you right away, I think you would say, But we also have burgers, which...
Well, let me ask Brian, have you been to BBD Eats?
I have not, but, I'm planning with DJ really soon to go in there, so it's going to happen.
DJ's he's like the norm. He's
a local.
He's like, he walks in, everyone's like, DJ!
Yeah. He tells me all the time, he's in there quite often, and he tells me all the time, how much fun he has, and it's only a matter of time when I'm
There's
in
one
there.
thing about DJ, he will always order, like, I'll have some funky beer on, I'm like, yo, you gotta try this, you gotta try that. Or, hey, they just sent me this. He will still go back to a Greenport beer.
Fuck yeah, you will.
Every single time.
Loyalist.
Every single time. He'll try it.
GHBC!
But then he'll go back to a Greenport
Do you guys, does
beer.
Greenport Harbor, do you guys have hats? Or any kind of merchandise?
We're pretty shallow when it comes to
T-shirts?
that. We're making beer right now. We just launched a packaging line, so all
You
of our
guys don't
money's
have
kinda
any
invested in
merchandise
that.
to put on the air for our...
It's online. Yeah, you can go to our
Do
website.
you want to do a giveaway?
Do a giveaway.
To someone who's listening right now?
Sure, all right.
What you got to give away?
Johnny gonna give away something?
A fire truck?
I have it.
Yeah, we got a
First-
fire
Give some
truck
away.
and a T-shirt.
You don't have a hat or a T-shirt?
Sure.
You do?
Absolutely.
Okay. You want to do? What do you want to give away on air right now?
I would love to give away a T-shirt, I guess.
Okay, so a Greenport Harbor T-shirt.
I got it. So we'll give away one Greenport Harbor T-shirt for the first person who can correctly spell John's last name.
That's big business.
Tag
Big
beer
business.
sessions in Greenport Harbor.
So you do at beer underscore sessions, and what's spell John Liegey's last name?
That's
Yes.
right.
What is it? At Harbor Brew? Is that it?
Greenport Brew.
What?
Yeah,
Greenport
Brew.
But whatever you do, we'll be watching.
John at Greenport Brew.
So we're getting excited. It's like, we're talking about. So Ralph, you're like the new personality, man.
I guess so.
You're like one of these, like this Billy Durney from Hometown Barbecue. You remind me of him.
Really?
You're like a great accomplished chef, and you're always upbeat. And
Thank you so much.
I'm really proud to meet
And
you.
kind of
man.
a badass.
Yeah, kind of a badass.
Thanks,
But so you got a great draft system. You got a great. What are like? I'll ask you. What are 3 items on your menu that when Brian goes there with DJ, what should he order? Or are you going to make him off menu?
To be honest with you, the crispy beef heart that we do, we like to do a lot of
beef
funky
heart.
stuff where people normally wouldn't eat, but then they try it. And they
How do you
love
make a crispy beef heart?
it. We actually take beef hearts and we cure them, and then we actually confit them in aged beef fat, dehydrate them, and then fry them really quickly. We toss them in this very concentrated soy marinade. It's
So like
super-
beef fat
very
is
happy with that.
it's tallow,
Yes,
right?
I would- I'll take 2.
Is tallow beef fat? Is that the same
What
thing?
we do is we take aged beef fat and we actually render it out, and then we actually strain it, clarify it, and that's like our.
But is tallow the same thing as beef fat?
tallow? I would have to say no.
No.
Not my world. I'm a chef, so
But-
something I don't know. I never heard of that.
Can you follow the tallow?
I personally have.
But in the old
Going
days,
fallow
of
on tallow.
okay, in the old days, like McDonald's fries, did they used to fry things in beef fat?
lard. Which lard is actually healthier for you than vegetable oil.
Absolutely.
And I will go on radio and say that. Please look it up if you don't believe me.
Eat bacon every day.
So already you got me going now. See the beef hearts and the beef fat. Okay, what's another dish that Chef Brian should try?
I would have to say we actually make homemade ramen. George Cow, who is actually coming to our beer dinner, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Sun noodles.
He makes all the noodles for David Chang, all the people in the city.
George Cow is one of the most accomplished Asian food and drink guys. For years, he was a top sake rep.
Right.
He moved to Sun Noodles. It's
And
unbelievable.
nobody knows him. And anyone that's doing big business now in the ramen world, it's because of George Cow. And I'm a huge supporter of his. And I had him actually come out. And I got some yuzu beer from New Belgium. I had him send me just when he was coming because I knew he would appreciate that. And I served him my ramen because I wanted the approval because I wanted to serve ramen at BBD's. And for a white Italian guy from Long Island serving ramen doesn't really make sense, right? So he came out, had my ramen, and gave me the thumbs up and kind of teach me on how to fix things and make it right. So I would say the ramen's a big deal. We do it vegetarian also. We do a full vegan.
But you're not a white guy, Ralph. You're Italian.
It's true. Very
We're
true.
special breed.
You know what? And I'm half Sicilian.
We're special breed. And then third dish, what should I have?
I have the steakhouse burger. We have a wood-fired coal grill. My buddy made it for me custom. It's a Spanish-style grill. It's brick encased. Gets up to 1,300 degrees. So the steaks, the burgers, we brush them with a miso butter. It's pretty serious. Brioche bun. Probably one of the best burgers I think in the country. I'm excited to be invited back to the Rachel Ray Burger Bash.
I got to get out to Rocky Point.
Yeah, we're killing it with that. Dude, 70% of our sales.
Russell, can I come with you?
The grill.
Yeah, we need to do a field trip, man.
I think so.
The grill station goes down every night because we get killed on that.
John Liegey. Who knows how to spell his last name?
Come on, you get a T-shirt.
Okay, and then BBD means BB Desserts.
Beers, burgers,
one
desserts.
dessert for Brian and Sean because they're going the same night.
I would say the Cinnabon because we make it fresh in house. It's fresh dough. We got
Give it
some
to me
Saigon
now.
cinnamon there, pastry cream. We roll it up fresh. We proof it, bake it, put a great cream cheese icing on it. Goes great with a porter
So that's
or a
for
stout.
a porter.
Yeah,
Black duck porter.
Yeah, black duck porter especially,
Nico.
100%. We have my friend just gave me a beer right now. He's actually doing a coconut ginger porter that we have on draft. That goes really well with Cinnabon as well.
Wow. Fried beef hearts.
That's actually one of the past hors d'oeuvres for the Vermont beer dinner we're going to talk about soon.
Man.
And also the Vermont beer that you just passed, you supplanted.
That is my man
Newport Harbor.
Jamie
Now
from,
I'm taking some
Lost
Goza.
Nation.
We're
So
going to get
good.
there, guys.
Dude,
All right, we're jumping
right.
ahead. We're jumping ahead.
Jumping ahead, Sean. What are you going to say?
I'm
We'll take a
jumping
short
ahead.
break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
We'll be
on
back with a few minutes here at
Beer
Beer
Sessions
Sessions
Radio.
Radio.
right on.
I was born with a 5-string, fingerpicks already on my hand. Hear my daddy tell my mama I was born a banjo picking man. Lord, Lord, I was born a banjo picking man. Found me a guitar.
Hey, welcome back to Beer Sessions Radio on the Heritage Radio Network. My good buddy, Sean McCain's back on the air.
Come on now.
From
This is number 6. I think.
Victory Brewing to the Bronx Brewing. And now, at home.
Greenport Harbor Brewing
Greenport Harbor,
Company.
man. And John Liegey. John, don't tell anyone how to spell your last name, but
Yeah, so it's L.
If you're driving in Long Island, you might start off on
but don't forget, guys. I know how easy it is out on Long Island. You guys are chilling all the time, and
Yeah, man.
There's a great
Bonzos
lifestyle
and
out there. But
baby.
it's so cool that you guys have expanded your brewery.
Yep.
You're in Peconic. It's a great place to go to the tasting room. Your brewery's bigger.
Yep.
Are you actually making all your bottled beer in the new brewery?
We are. So we are, we do, so the original brewery, 15-barrel system, we do our one-offs. We do more experimental stuff. There are 3 beers. In the spirit of Brian Russell, we will not say what those beers are presently, but we're brewing them for our anniversary party July 11th. Yeah. So which should be a big party. But yeah, basically what this brought us, this bigger space, brought us more production, brought us more control, brought us packaging. We just didn't want to kind of hand it off to somebody else when we got into a space that let us do it, and it was a It was the worst 2 years of my life to like talk to the banks and get everything done for this new space because we thought like we were geniuses the first time and got the first brewery done. This next one just kicked our ass, and it was hard, but you know what? Anything hard kind of pays off, and it tastes better when you work hard. So we're happy to be in there now, and it's we're bringing bottles out for the first time.
Let me just mention one thing about the new facility, because like we've reclaimed a firehouse, and as we've talked about our fire truck as well. But the new facility in Peconic was built in the 1920s, and it's was originally a Packard car dealership. So we've reclaimed the first ever gas station and car dealership that was on the North Fork of Long Island, and now the showroom shows off our 4-vessel, 30-barrel brew house. And you can see it when you're driving on the main road as you pass by. And if you want to know where you can have a tasty beverage next to it, you look no further than the detail garage. And should you want to spend a little more time in the sun looking through the vineyards and the vistas that surround you, we have an acre open.
Did you study
right
theater, Sean?
No,
you're
yes.
an awesome speaker.
I might have a BFA. I don't know.
I'm just going to give you things to read on air. You're going to be reading in between. But let's jump. So we got Long Island, Greenport Harbor. I think I'm spending a lot of time out there this summer.
You better.
Why not? But we got the new thing in Rocky Point. So Ralph, when did you open BBD Eats?
I would say about a year and a half ago.
When did you open your last Vermont beer? Because I'm thirsty.
We've been drinking Galaxy.
Let's cut to the chase. You have been a huge supporter of craft beer and good food and a chef for many years.
Right.
So you got a dinner coming up next week, June 10th.
Yes.
And tell us a few. You got some special chefs and special breweries represented.
No, every year we do a charity craft dinner at BBD's. It's called CBD, which stands for charity beer dinner. So this year, I decided to do Vermont. One reason is because I spend a lot of time up there. I absolutely love it up there. I've made a tremendous amount of friends. The people of Vermont, the brewers of Vermont, are super humble, awesome people. Sean Hill gets his ass beat for being an asshole because he's got the #1 brewery in the country.
And his name is Sean. It's not fair, man. It's not fair.
He's a pure gentleman. I've walked into the brewery of Alchemist, and Jen and John opened the doors, gave me a tour, gave me Focal Banger before they was even put out. Chris from Citizen Cider has given me stuff that he just made that week with his with the person that works with him from Magic Hat that came over. That's a chemist.
You're doing great stuff.
I mean, I could talk for hours.
What's next week, June 10th?
So next week is a Vermont charity dinner that we're doing. We have 10 chefs, 9 different breweries from Vermont. It's pretty amazing because it's the first time on New York soil we'll have all these breweries in one seating, along with
I know you're going to tell us a little bit afterwards how that you made that happen. But right now, two of your buddies from Vermont are on the air. So give us a quick intro. Who's on?
So you have Chris from Citizen Cider doing a great job up there in Vermont, making fresh cider from fresh apples.
We're drinking that right now. It's freaking delicious.
Delicious.
Hey, Chris, is that you?
How are you?
Good. And then who's the other person, Ralph? Is there someone
the other person is Jamie. He's from Lost Nation. He does an amazing Goza. He does an amazing beer, period.
We were drinking that.
We had the Goza earlier.
I think is it just Chris on the air right now?
Currently, Jamie is in traffic. I was going to do like a fake voice and try to beat Jamie.
Do it one time. Just one time.
In traffic in Vermont?
Yeah. So, guys, let's since we have a call on, let's just slow down a minute so we can all hear. So, Chris, just tell us about your cider company and the kind of stuff you're doing, because we want to hear about it.
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having us on, and it's been fun listening to the show so far. Talking about some of my favorite people out there. George Cow, who, you guys mentioned earlier, I get the privilege of doing our cider with his course that night at BBD. So he's an old friend of mine. I used to be in the wine world and sold sake of George's back up here in Vermont. So the kind of world's coming together.
Wait, so you're doing a special course, a pairing?
Jamie's walking in the door.
I'll take it from here while Jamie's walking in. So
each course is a pairing.
Each course a little bit about us. We're a craft cider company. We started in 2011. Very humble beginnings. We really had not a lot to start with, and cider really wasn't happening very much at that time. That's Jamie pulling a can out of a pack tech. I don't know if you can hear it. And that's a can. We've just put one foot in front of the next, and basically been building character, integrity for the last 5 years. We've grown quite a bit, and we're trying to lead the way with what craft cider is. Craft beer has, at this point, it's an evolving world, but there's kind of an understanding of kind of how it works and who's who, and even though there's more people coming on the scene all the time, there's an idea of like what's great beer. Cider is in a very different place in its history, and it has a really long, rich history, which I won't get into right now.
Chris,
and
hey,
before I get too far,
Chris,
yeah.
Tell us about the course that you're doing at the dinner. What cider you're serving, and what George Cow's making for food.
George Cow is making a duck dish. I don't have it right in front of me, so I don't want to skew any words. Ralph could probably read it to you. I could probably pull it up, but Ralph.
I think Ralph has it. So
I'm good. I got
Ralph's
it.
got it.
And we're going to serve our flagship cider. It's called the Unified Press. The first cider that we made. It's an off-dry cider that, at the time when we started, there was really one big macro cider company in the world, also from Vermont, and they had one like a kind of style of cider that, was what was the norm, and then there was some small craft cideries, and when we came up with this cider using local fruit. Has an off-dry palate, clean, crisp, really has a meth appeal, and it's really food-friendly. I mean, he could have paired it with, all different types of foods, really. I mean, it goes great with pork, it goes great with duck, but really, it's a miracle. It goes with anything, guys.
Awesome, Chris. And, Ralph, what is it paired with?
So it's paired with a duck confit maizebin ramen, which is like a drier ramen, which actually we're confit the legs at BBD's right now, and it's going to be tossed like a la minute, which means to order, during the dinner with shoyu tar and some flavoring.
What does that mean?
Ralph, how many chefs do you have and cooks? In
10 right now. It's
wow.
crazy.
It's a big place.
Yeah, no, it's everyone just came out of the woodwork,
And then who's the next guest? Who's Jamie? Tell us about him.
Jamie is from Lost Nation. I personally think I drink a lot of beer, obviously, and I travel a lot in Vermont, and I think all the breweries up there are amazing, but I really think Jamie and Alan, what they're doing there is they're making beers that are 4.5%, 5%, that are seriously crushable, delicious beer. It's kind of cool. When I first met Jamie, I brought him some of our homemade kielbasa, and as soon as we walked in the door with the boys, we started drinking beer. Next thing you know, I'm cooking. And some other things kind of happened.
You're like the beer ambassador.
And we were just drinking beer after beer after beer. And it was just a party. We were there for like 5 hours. We were late to go meet Sean Hill at Phil Farmstead.
And do we get is Jamie on the air now?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Jamie, just say hi and tell us a little bit about your brewery quickly.
Yeah, so we started our brewery about 2 years ago. We pretty much started from nothing. Went out, wrote a business plan, found the financing. Our kind of idea was to do beers that people weren't doing, that hadn't been brought about yet or hadn't been noticed. Some off-color kind of things. Our flagship beer is a Goza.
We just cracked open a can right now, Jamie.
Yeah, it's a German wheat beer brewed with sea salt and coriander. It's slightly tart. Not a lot of people were doing that style at that point. So it was a little bit off the wall to try to just come out of the gate with that. And we hit the ground running.
This particular Goza is going to be on cask, actually on our cast engine at BBD's on June 10th.
And what are you pairing it with, Ralph?
That is going with, let me take a look here. What we did was I talked to all the chefs and told them the beer style we were doing and explained to them each individual person like what style of beer it was. And we went back and forth. That one is going with, let me see here.
Why don't you read the whole menu, man? Because it sounds really good.
Yeah, let me go through the menu. So our past hors d'oeuvres are duck wings, crispy beef heart, pulled pork bao buns, bacon scallion pancakes, tuna tartare, and I actually do these vegan wings because craft beer world, there's a lot of vegan and vegetarians out there, so I cater to them. Jen and John from Alchemist insisted on a full can of focal banger to be passed around for the first course. So the rest of the dinner should be very interesting, considering giving an 8% beer 16 ounces. But this first course will be me, which is a lump crab meat with purple salsa feet, garlic pickles, homemade Russian dressings, poppy seed, chervil. That beer is going to be with a saison that I actually brewed with Mikey from Otter Creek. We actually took some lemon basil from Copa Crest on the North Fork of Long Island, and DJ actually did me a favor and grabbed me some local hops. And I actually went to the brewery, and we actually brewed a saison together, which was super rad.
Great.
Very cool of Mikey. He's such a humble dude. Second course is going to be fried pig trotter with hot mustard and white asparagus and birch. Yes. We decided to do that with zero gravity.
Wait, what's the birch?
The birch is actually a friend of mine, Douglas Rodriguez. He's from Boston. He was a chef at Clio. Super talented guy. He's super creative. Just kind of threw me out what he was doing. And I was like, cool, man. We're going to put it with the Breadhead IPA from Zero Gravity. It just makes sense. Birch, Breadhead. So course 3, which George Cow is making the ramen with Unified Press from Citizen Cider. Course 4 is diver scallops, a.k.a. clam chowder, razor clams, crispy bacon, which is going to be from Josh Eden from August in New York City. Super badass chef.
That sounds like a Long Island dish.
It does. I'm actually getting them clams from the South Shore over there. We're going to try to go scoop some up before the dinner. Switchback is doing their extra parallel with that. Then I actually invited my friend Mark Mebus, who is out of Philadelphia. I spent a lot of time in Philly because beer scene there is pretty big. We're looking to do a BBDs down there also. So he's a vegetarian chef, so he's doing pan-roasted trumpets, some smoked tomato, cream corn, basil. Fiddlehead, their second fiddle double IPA, is actually going to be paired with that because of the vegetarian course. I don't know if you had Fiddlehead stuff. Matt, the brewer there, is doing some amazing stuff. I'm a huge fan of his Mastermind IPA. I've given that to Nico multiple times.
These are all Vermont breweries.
All Vermont. And then my man Chef Guy Rouge from Mirabelle, I'm sure you've heard about him. I paired him up with the guys from Lost Nation because he's doing a glazed pork belly to go with the goose. So I think that'd be great salt content and everything. Course 7 is my friend Ryan from New Jersey. He's doing a rabbit Menzaluna. Am I saying that correctly? Menzaluna, sour cherries, foie gras emulsion. And that's going to be with Hill Farmstead, but he sent us a Pilsner, which I think is super badass because Sean really doesn't send Pilsners down here to New York. And I think Pilsner is one of the hardest.
So how did you get all these? Some of these beers aren't usually in New York. So what did you do?
I made a phone call to the State Liquor Authority because we want to do everything legal. And I said I'm absolutely out of my mind, and I have a lot of friends in Vermont, and I want to promote them. I think they're all great people, and I love the people up there. And this year I decided to go with Vermont, and it took some time, but the SLA was super cool with it because it was for a charity.
And when did you first approach the State Liquor Authority?
I would say probably about 6 months ago.
Well, I will say is really progressive, and they're doing a great job.
They are. They were nothing but helpful. They appreciate me reaching out and being honest and telling them what I wanted to do. And the bottom line is they made it very simple for me. They said, listen, just fill out marketing permits. It's for a charity. It's great. You've been open for 2 years. You have a respected place. It doesn't give there's no defaults on your license or anything like that. And just for you to call us and let us know about it, they helped out. So big ups to New York State Liquor Authority.
That's really nice to hear.
That's awesome.
That's good to know because you always wonder about that. And we've had other brewers that have wanted to come in for like a beer week or something.
Right.
So you're saying that in the future that's the way to do it.
Right. So like my friends from New Belgium.
Be honest.
Deschutes. We're doing a metal fest at BBD's for a 2-year anniversary party. A little bunch of friends that are in bands. And I said, listen, I have another event coming up. How do I go about this? So they kind of gave me the ropes. If you remember correctly, Savor was in New York City probably 2013, I think it was, right? It's usually in D.C. That was 1 year that I was there. So, New Belgium and all these other breweries that were outside
a lot of special
beers. Right, we're all there.
Floyd's, like your shirt says.
Exactly. So Barnaby and all those guys, they all file for separate permits. And I just basically called the SLA and said, listen, I got a 90-seat restaurant. All these guys in Vermont, some of them are launching in New York. They're great people. I love to get them the exposure. I love to have their beer in my restaurant. The chefs come on their own free time. tax ID number, the whole deal. It's all legit. What do I got to do to get this to happen? And they were just like, listen, just file this, and you're good. And it was really that simple. So now this has launched other possibilities for us to bring in outside breweries.
It's going to make things like New York City Beer Week easier,
right?
Cider Week New York easier.
Right. I've even told Nico how I went about it because he was curious too. How'd you pull this off? And I said, anybody can do it. It's about putting in the legwork and time, which Chris will tell you on radio. I put a tremendous amount of time into making this happen.
Well, that's great.
I was going to say something without you, plugging yourself there. Ralph has. I'm amazed at what the amount of energy that Ralph has put into this whole thing. Is I've done a little bit to kind of connect with a few brewers up here, but I'm blown away. And I hope that a lot of people come down to experience this because the food lineup looks outstanding, and I know personally from drinking all these beers all the time and my cider, of course, that we're doing some good beverages up here.
Chris, thanks,
Vermont.
man.
So
thanks, buddy.
Please come down and check this out.
What are the dates, though?
Tell us. So where's the website? How do you find out about
this?
So
it's www.eatbbds.com. Click on CBD.
Eat BBD.
Click on CBD, and you'll be able to see the menu.
Tell us the website one more time.
It's www.eatbbds.com.
EatBBDS?
Yep. EatBBDS.com.
So it's going to be a good thing. A lot of people go out to Long Island on the weekend from New York City.
Right.
It's worth going to. That's awesome. Anything else, Nico? Next June, it's June 10th, next week. Nico, anything else going on? Long Island beer? Anything you want to tell us about?
I want to actually shout out the app that I'm the editor of. We're releasing a map in the next few weeks with the 100 best bars and shops in New York City. So you can actually pre-order that at bluecrowmedia.com.
It's only $5.
And
right?
What's the app?
Craft Beer New York. It's available on iPhone and Android.
Okay. And then you guys, John, it's so great to have you on, man. I'm so proud of your new place. Give one more shout out to your new brewery and your restaurant.
I'm going to do a shout out to DJ and Rich, who are back at the brewery working hard. I get to come in and eat pizza and talk to Jimmy.
All right. And Sean?
And because Rich is not here, I have to mention that on June 27th, the 28th, we will be hosting a Kansas City-sanctioned barbecue and blues festival. That's right, June 27th, the 28th.
And that's what I told you. I'm going to be out with you guys.
The brewery, that's it.
I'm going to be there. You didn't even mention it, man.
Saturday from 10 to 10, Sunday
from
10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Let's see you out there.
One more thing, Ralph.
So another big thing is I want to mention that Chris from Citizen Cider is distributed here in New York now through Serene Distributors. Lost Nation will be distributed here as well through Union. We're doing their launch party July 10th. I'm super excited to have 10 of their beers on Wild Draft System and some badass cask.
This is a great show, guys. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Union Beer Distributors who have helped to bring this podcast to you tonight. Thanks to everybody who's been on the show. Nico, Sean, Ralph, Chris, Jamie, and Brian. And this has been a great show on Heritage Radio Network. I'm Jimmy Carboni. Thanks to our producers, Justin Kennedy and Maggie Seiden, and our engineer extraordinaire, Jack Inslee. Thanks for listening. See you next time on Beer Sessions Radio. All right. Yeah, whoa!
Thanks for listening to this program on heritageradionetwork.org. You can find all of our archived programs on our website or as podcasts in the iTunes Store by searching Heritage Radio Network. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at heritage_radio. You can email us with questions anytime at info@heritageradionetwork.org. Heritage Radio Network is a 501c3 nonprofit. To donate and become a member, visit our website today. Thanks for listening.
Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butz, get big or get out.
it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be, and realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next farm bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.